Hey, welcome
Now,
back, everybody.
hey,
Another
hi
Monday,
there.
another podcast.
Yeah, here we are,
How's everybody
live at
doing?
it again. I'm all right, man. Yeah, had the week off for the Niners. We won the bye week. It's right there in the title. Niners move up to sixth. I said it would happen, and it did. The Niners are actually even favored in the next three games because of other things that happened around the league. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, things are looking better and better for the Niners. Yeah, yeah, and Levi Stadium is hosting the Super Bowl. Suddenly, I know I'm the optimist. There's a non-0% chance. There's a non-0% chance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. The Rams are still the favorite. I know that. All due respect, but there is a non-0% chance. That's where I'm at right now. There's a chance. Okay. How are you doing, my friend?
I just need the Dumb and Dumber meme of, so you're saying there's a chance.
Right.
Um, well, the team is heading into the playoffs, so if you make it to the playoffs, you got a chance. So,
Right.
and their offense is getting healthy. The defense, sustained a lot of injuries. But the offense, it could carry a
Th-
team. We've seen it before.
There's there's rumblings that Fred Warner is pushing to be ready for the start of the playoffs. And like to be like and maybe he at least in the first game, he might only play like third downs or something like that, but there's been like rumblings for a couple of weeks now from some of the press around and like people close to the team. So I mean, we'll see if that actually happens or not. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice, compared to fifth round draft pick rookies versus Fred Warner. Even if it's a Fred Warner at 80%, that's still hell of a lot better
Then a no
than
Fred
a lot
Warner
of
team.
guys. Exactly. Even though a lot of these guys have served admirably. The special teams are a top five team. The Niners with Brock Purdy are a top five offense, I believe. And so now the defense, they're like mid 20s right now, but they've been playing admirably. They've been bend don't break for most of these games. So we're in the home stretch now, and all of a sudden you're favored. Especially in this indie game that was looking a lot more scary until all of a sudden Sauce Gardner is gone. They traded away the future to get him, and now Daniel Jones has this Achilles tear.
He done.
And then the third string quarterback who was the second string who got promoted to second string quarterback when Anthony Richardson was lost for the year, uh, like with a freak accident doing stretches or something. I don't know what the hell happened there, but he
Yeah.
got attacked by some of the exercise equipment, and he was gone. He's gone
Was
with
it
like
like
face
an
break.
elastic band, like,
Yeah,
snapped and hit him in the
it,
eyeball and, like,
yeah,
broke
it
his
broke
orbital
his
socket or something?
orbital bone. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had a face break. For those of you who know me in real life, you can see my personal Instagram, and you just scroll back about a decade, and you can see the face break. It's still up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. It's no joke getting your face broken. But yeah, that's some scary stuff for him. So they're down, and even that quarterback that came in now, he's questionable. I actually got an alert that they brought in Philip Rivers to kind of just test the arm. They're dusting off Philip Rivers. That's where they're at right now. So
Damn.
so we'll see what happens when the Niners actually play them in a couple of weeks. So yeah, but first and foremost, the Niners have the Titans coming up this next week. Yeah, so the Niners won the bye week. I'm feeling great about that. And then also just the with the Niners, if the Rams lose to either Detroit or Seattle, and then if Green Bay also loses to either Denver or Chicago, which is possible, they already almost lost to Chicago at home. They'll be playing that Chicago game in Chicago. And Denver is good now. Yeah, especially that defense. Um, suddenly, that Seahawks versus 49ers game in week 18, that'll be for the number 1 seed. Winner would be the 5 seed, probably. The loser would be the number 1 seed in week 18. So if the Niners win out to that point.
Right.
So there you go. You know,
A
that would
lot
be
on the line.
that would be a lot on the line. You got to win all the other games to get to that point, but that would be really exciting if we get there. So obviously Detroit is going to be a hell of a match as well. So if Seattle wins out to that point, and if the Niners do their part and win out to that point, there you go, man. That's going to be really exciting. In the chat, Papa G, Fred is killing his rehab, and here we go.
Absolutely.
You know, this is it. Like, this is everything is starting to line up. Then obviously if the 49ers do end up with the 1 seed, you're literally you have a chance to host every single playoff game, including the Super Bowl, at home. So, you know, it's on the table. It's a possibility. It's right there. Like that there is the path is there. You need a couple of things to break your way, but it's certainly not impossible. You know, that this is we're talking probably about, you know, a 1 in 10 possibility. I think the playoff odds or whatever, the playoff simulator has it about a 10 or 12% chance of happening right now on the Athletic playoff simulator, which is, you know, not a good chance, but 1 in 10. If you roll like a D10, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you roll a D10. Guess what? Like, that's, you know, that's not unheard of. You can roll a specific number on that die. You know, like
Right.
that is. It's not great odds, but it is possible, absolutely, to get a specific number. Like, that is, it can happen. It certainly can
Then
happen.
since
It's not completely
we're
out of the
talking
question.
odds, we're
Yeah.
talking betting odds. What's the over under on how many Dougies is Brock Purdy going to bust out for the remainder of the year?
Um, I
Do
think
we get one
might,
more?
we might get one more if it all lines up right, and that Seattle SF game is for
Because you
the
can't
number
do
1
that
seed.
against Tennessee, right?
No,
Like,
no,
you
no,
can't
no.
do that
He's not
against
going to do it
Tennessee.
against Tennessee or Indianapolis. But
It's too
if
easy.
that game, like if that week 18 game is for all the marbles and for the number 1 seed, and he does something magical in that game, oh yeah, that's coming out again for sure, man. If there's a bootleg in the fourth quarter to, like, you know, to go night night, oh, instead of hitting the night night Selly, he's hitting the Dougie Selly, I'm sure. You know, that's, you know, maybe he does hit the night night. I don't know. Maybe Steph Curry's in the audience. Who knows? Could be fun. You know, maybe we got a crossover.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
could be fun. Could be fun. So we've had fun, you know, thinking about the possibilities of what's on the table for the Niners. We're all excited over here. Let's get a little sad now. Let's talk about how your Raiders, what the hell happened over there, man?
Sad.
Raiders
I'm
got a
happy,
Raider.
man. What the hell are you talking about? We moved up. We moved down in the draft, which is, or, you know, closer to 1. We're number 2.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, you know, you got to lose out from here. You got to get that number 1 overall pick.
Right.
You know, as far as this, in all seriousness, again, you know, this game, you know, I said it a couple weeks ago. I don't think this Raiders team is going to win another game, and not that you tell your players, like, if you're the coaches, not that you're, you know, hey guys, let's just quit on the season. I mean, these guys are auditioning for not just to be a future Raider, but a future NFL football player. You know, so these guys have to go out there and compete. I saw some good things against the Broncos. This offensive line, you know, there was the controversy with Caleb Rogers of, Is he going to get in the game or not in the game? And the shuffling of the offensive line. He got to play a whole game against, arguably the best defensive line as far as sacks go. And he did pretty good. I mean, the Raiders offensive line, they still gave up sacks. Geno Smith was still under pressure. Not the cleanest of pockets, but I thought Caleb Rogers did pretty good for being in his first full NFL game. I thought he looked pretty good. Um, I like that Greg Olson tried to target all of the young guys. If you're a rookie or a second year player, you try to target, those younger guys. I like seeing that. I know the odds that you were going to go out and win this game wasn't very good. But I like seeing, Genty get involved all around. Bowers caught a touchdown pass, and we started to see, Jack Besh get some actual playtime and consistent playtime. What I like about him is it seems like every time he catches the ball, it's a first down. Like he's constantly moving the chains and fighting. So it's something,
He's got a little Juwan Johnson in him.
yeah, he's, just keep moving the chains, keep moving the chains, keep competing. So I thought that was great. Defensively, you got to see Tonka Hemingway. He got his first career sack. He looked pretty good. It's one game, but again, some of these young guys getting some burn, to find out, you know, what do you need going into this off season? Um, like I said earlier, they do lose, so that they're 2-10 team right now, and they move up second overall in the draft. Um, I put it out there last night after the game. I was thinking about this, Vince, and I was texting some of my Raider buddies, and we were going back and forth on it. And it seems like it's, you know, 55% Raider fans that I've encountered, they say draft Mendoza just because he's the considered the number one quarterback prospect coming out right now. Um, and I agree, he probably is the best option at quarterback right now. But and then the other 48, 49%, it's trade the pick, especially if you have like a number one, number two pick, is trade down um, to a team that maybe is a little bit more desperate for that franchise quarterback where you can get, three number ones and, for a number one, number two pick, whatever you can get, right? The most you can get. And this Raiders team is they're not a quarterback away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Colton Miller has been a mainstay at left tackle, and he's good, but he's starting to show some injury prone seasons. I believe this is going to be the second season in a row that he's not going to be able to finish. A couple years ago, he got a late start, and so he didn't start the season. So this is like 3 seasons in a row, I believe, that he's had severe injuries and setbacks. And so now you got to look at, is he coming back? You signed him to that extension. Are you bringing him back? You need to invest heavily into the offensive line. You've never really found that consistent running mate next to Max Crosby on the opposite edge. You don't really have a staple linebacker, a middle linebacker. You don't really have anybody in the secondary. You got some young guys that, hey, they played pretty well out there on Sunday. So I think there's like pieces that like you like seeing them, you like seeing the development. But in my opinion, if you can trade the number one pick or number two pick and you get an extra first round pick this year, you get an extra second and a third and future picks next year, and you start getting, 5 or 6 picks in the top 100 this year and next year, now you're talking about you got some lottery tickets that could really pay off. Like you got to have more scratcher tickets. You got to have more chance at the lotteries. And if it was up to me, that's probably what I would do is try to get more draft picks. Now I'm not trading back to like 15. I'm not trading back to 20. If I were the Raiders and I moved that far back, I'm getting like 5 first round draft picks, and I don't think a team is doing that. So, I don't think it's, out of the realm of possibilities that they end up being a team that trades out of that top spot, because this team needs so much talent on both sides of the ball at all levels of the ball. Like that, it's been, I think that's been the biggest obvious thing, is that this roster is just not good enough. And with Pete Carroll, I do think last week, the past 2 to 3 weeks, I've been saying like, where do you go as a franchise from here? And I think they're probably gonna try to keep Pete Carroll. I could be way wrong, but I think, they're gonna try to go with him for another year, give him his own personal, handpicked, offensive coordinator and maybe defensive coordinator. Um, I think the Raiders are just getting kinda the ownership, you gotta they made some bad decisions, probably should have stuck with Rich Bisaccia. You didn't. And then, you Josh McDaniels, and that doesn't work out. And then Antonio Pierce, that didn't work out. And what's crazy is like the Tom Telesco draft. There's some players, obviously Brock Bowers, but there's some players that are on the roster contributing from that draft. And it's surprising, but it seems like this team has regressed offensively, with a head coach and offensive coordinator that was more experienced, more been there, done that. And then you had a quarterback that had winning seasons and Pro Bowl seasons, and it just, they shot the bed. But with all that said, I do think that they don't wanna keep firing coaches, because I think they're still paying John Gruden and Josh McDaniels and, Antonio Pierce, because they all had years remaining on their contract. So I believe they're paying all these coaches, man. And, you can't, even though there's no salary cap on coaches, you gotta stop the bleeding somewhere. That's just, throwing money into the wind. Now, if they want to hire me and then fire me and then keep paying me for the next 5 years, we could keep that going for me.
Right, yeah.
But I think they're trying to be a franchise that is not so quick to change. Um, and I think we talked about this at the beginning of the year. Is like, Pete Carroll got that 3-year deal with a fourth year option, and I really think the goal of hiring Pete Carroll was just to try to get a program, a disciplined program, bring in a culture, bring in that dedication, bring in some type of process that has been missing for so long. So I don't think they were ever looking to Pete Carroll as a long-term solution. But I thought that, I think they think that it would be a lot better than a 2-win team up until this point. So, um, I don't know. I guess like that's any Raiders fans out there, or even football fans, if you're the Raiders, what do you do? Do you trade the pick? Do you take the best quarterback available? Because I'm not sold that any quarterback in this draft class is that franchise altering talent. And with the Raiders, you're so far away from, if you put him on the field with this offensive line, any quarterback is going to fail. So I think you need a lot more pieces. So, Raider fans, if you're listening to this, comment, what would you do with the pick? You trade it, you take Mendoza, taking Ty Simpson, best player available. What do you do? I was in this conversation last night on Reddit for hours. But that's what's going on in Raiderland. I still don't know where they go from here, because where does a two win team go from here, Vince? It's rough. I didn't think it would get much worse, but it definitely got much worse.
Yeah. Along with the playoff simulator, the Athletic does have an NFL draft projected order as well. Right now, the Raiders are most likely to get the number one overall pick at 44%. Your top five pick is 93% likely, and you basically already locked up a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much set in stone at this point. But yeah, so right now you're at 44% to get the number one pick. The next closest team is the Titans at 21% likely to get the number one pick. So, just keep up the good work, right? Or keep up the bad work,
It's gonna
and then
come
you'll,
down
yeah,
to, the Raiders versus the Giants. So,
we'll see if, I
December
mean,
28th.
if, yeah, that's really the game, right? Jackson Dart, if he's able to not get himself concussed again, doing meathead shit, then that'll probably be your difference maker, right? Um,
Yeah, because you got next week, you got the Eagles. The Eagles are still fighting, for a spot, so, they gotta win. Then you got the Texans still in the hunt. They gotta win. And then you got the Giants, and then you got the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are still in the hunt. So, the Kansas City Chiefs may really need that win to get a wild card spot. So, 3 of the 4 teams are, in the hunt of the playoffs, and, you have, the interim coach in New York trying to earn the full-time job. So, they wanna win that game, you know?
yeah, yeah. The Giants schedule, you have the Commanders, the Vikings, and then they play you, and then the Cowboys as well, like to wrap the schedule up. So they may be able to steal a win before they even play you guys, especially with the Commanders situation. We don't know who's going to be playing quarterback, whether Jaden Daniels is going to be healthy enough to go this week coming up. The Vikings, that quarterback situation is a mess. So we don't know. They may steal a win before they even get to you. Their chances of getting that number one seed in the draft, they may be gone before they even get to you, dude. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
Well,
so
we'll check in on that in in 2 or 3 weeks. So
because you look at the Raiders Giants, in my opinion, that's their last real shot at getting a win. And then from there, I don't see Tennessee winning another game. I don't see the Raiders winning another game. So, you got a lot of teams that, I mean, hey, stranger things have happened. But I mean, look at Cleveland. They probably should have won that game. What the hell was they thinking on that?
yeah,
That was the dumbest play. That
yeah,
that to me, what that to me was is if we win this game, we hurt our draft position, and then they go and announce that Shador is going to start the rest of the year. And that's the one game he looked pretty damn good. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but you probably should have put the ball in his hands to try to win that game. So to me, they punted and they ran a bad play because they're also thinking about draft position. So,
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, the Titans, the rest of their schedule is obviously the Niners this coming week, and then they have the Chiefs, then they have the Saints, and then they have the Jaguars. So yeah, 3 out of 4 of those games are teams that are in the playoff hunts right now. The Chiefs are not going to win the AFC West.
they are not.
So they are not going to do that. They are mathematically eliminated from doing that. I believe there was somebody on this podcast who thought that this might be the year where it wouldn't happen for them. Who was
Yeah, I
that
think Tim
guy?
said that.
Yeah,
I
it
think
might have been
Tim
Tim.
might have been
Might have been
Tim.
Tim. Although another person it could have been. Oh, it was your boy Vinny G who said that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm actually opening up the file right now to make sure that I'm not a total goddamn liar, but
No, it
I'm
was
pretty
Tim.
sure that I had the Chargers winning this division. Yeah, that's right. I did. Very much so. I had the Chargers winning this division. Of course, I had the Chiefs making it as a wild card, and you both had the Chargers in as wild card. But yeah, I mean, just like kind of checking in on all of our predictions actually. We all had the Bills, Texans, and Ravens winning the AFC other divisions. Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
The
Ravens look like
so
a
the
mess.
Patriots came out of nowhere really. None of us had the Patriots obviously. And then you look at the wild card teams, the Bengals. Well, that was a Joe Burrow thing that happened there, so that's, you can't really fault them. The You had the Chargers and the Raiders, unfortunately for you, as well. Whoops, swing and a miss there, bud. I had the Bengals, Chiefs, and Steelers. Uh, Not likely. The Bengals can only get in if they win their division now. Steelers probably the same thing. You have to win the division. So Chiefs could still get in as a wild card though. Although that's an uphill battle. Um,
They gotta win
and
out.
then
They gotta win
yeah,
everything, and then stuff
yeah,
needs to fall their way.
exactly. And then Tyler had Chargers, Broncos, and Bengals. So big ups to Tyler for having the Broncos as a wild card team, but they're in line for the division.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of yeah. Anyway, yeah. So then when you look at the NFC, uh, I had the Lions. You both had the Packers. The Bears are leading it right now. We'll see if the Packers come back and hold on. We all had the Packers making the playoffs though. I had them as a wild card. We all had the Buccaneers. We all had the Eagles. You had the Rams. Uh, Me and Tyler had the 49ers winning the West. Um, I didn't have the Rams in the playoffs because I had the Commanders instead. Whoops. We all had the Commanders in the wild card. Uh,
But I
anyway,
had the Rams.
yep, you had the Rams. Yeah, Lions. We all had the Lions in the playoffs. We all had the Packers. We all had the Commanders. I had the Vikings. I thought the JJ McCarthy thing would work out. Anyway, so for the Super Bowl picks though, you had the Bills and Eagles. I had the Bills and Niners. Tyler had the Ravens and Eagles. All of those picks are still alive. So um those picks are still all right so far. We'll see if those picks are still alive when we circle back in about a month. I think this was a good time to kind of check in on that at the moment. But with that being said, just one more thing to bring up. I think I slightly mentioned it earlier. Daniel Jones, the quarterback for Indianapolis, did tear his Achilles tendon in the game. He is done for the year. Unfortunately, it was a hell of a season. He was back. You know, I thought it wouldn't work out. I thought Indianapolis was trying to make position themselves to get a new quarterback, a new franchise quarterback, and wouldn't you know it, he was actually playing really well for them. And he got a little bit hurt there, and with like a knee injury, and then he was just kind of overcompensating with the other leg, and you get the soft tissue Achilles tendon tear on the other leg, and there goes your season, and there goes they were thinking possible Super Bowl when they made that Sauce Gardner trade. And you lose Sauce Gardner, and now you lose your quarterback, and now they're sitting on the outside of the playoffs looking in too. Like they've lost a couple of games in a row now. Jacksonville is probably going to win that division if it's not Houston. It's one of those two teams. Maybe they both get into the playoffs too, at this point. Yeah, so that's going to be really rough. That's got to be it's just a kick in the nards for them, man. They were looking really good for a while there, and it's just all the castle's crumbling down for them. And the Niners are going to come in a couple of weeks and help bury them. So Slanja. Um yeah. So with that said, I think it's time to move on to basketball. And this kind of broke after we recorded last week. The Clippers cut Chris Paul Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. text while he was on the road trip. They cut short the retirement circuit on him. He's, as far as I know, he hasn't signed with another team yet, has he? No, he's just kind of sitting out there. Maybe this is it for Chris Paul. Nobody's no other takers. If so, it's a little bit of a whimper to the end of a Hall of Fame career. And that's a bit of a bummer. We're about a quarter of the way through the season at this point. Yeah, a little over a quarter, I guess. It's just it's I feel a little bit bad that this is how it's gonna go out. You never want to see players hold on a little bit longer, a little bit too long. I always want to see players go out on their own terms. you know, unfortunately, this doesn't feel like a situation where that's going to happen. I don't see Chris Paul. He's cleared waivers at this point. I don't see where another team's going to pick him up. I don't. I don't know. Do you? Is there another team out there
I
that's
mean, I don't know what team would wanna pick him up, especially when you read, it's rumors. I haven't seen anything that's, like, confirmed reporting about what happened, but it seemed like, what I've read is Kawhi Leonard and, other teammates started to get sour on Chris Paul's constant, player coaching, where they started to just look at it as nagging, and they just weren't on the same page. So they didn't want to really hear it from Chris Paul, and especially, winning cures everything. So when you're winning and you're in the MVP discussion, um, I think coaches and the franchise will tolerate a lot. And when you start to age out and become less productive and you're not an MVP candidate, you know, some of the player coaching veteran stuff, it's like maybe that voice is a little too loud. And from what I'm reading, it just soured people. I'm not saying he's right or wrong or they're right or wrong. I don't know the situation. That's what I'm reading is that they just could not see eye to eye on a lot of things, and it soured.
yeah, yeah,
And I
it's
don't see a
a
team that wants to bring in Chris Paul, who's not what he used to be. But when you play that many years in the league and all the injuries, he's no. There's other players you can give those minutes to. So I don't know, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
yeah.
You know,
And I don't know that he's gonna want to sign with a team that doesn't have their eyes on a championship, right? And so which
absolutely.
championship caliber team is going to want to sign him is the question. And if I look at the standings right now, I mean, in the Eastern Conference, top of the standings is Pistons, Knicks, Celtics. Those are your top three. Raptors are in fourth. Uh, n- uh, eh, Magic in five, Heat in six. I don't, I don't know if any of them are gonna really want to take the chance. If you look in the Western Conference, the Thunder don't need any help. They're 23-1. They're doing just fine. The Lakers are in
No,
two. The Nuggets are in three, although they have the same record. Rockets are in four. Hey, that's a team that needs some guard help. I mean,
who
I would at
says you
least put
can't
in a
go home?
I would at least put in a call if I was Chris Paul. I would at least put in a call and say, "Hey, you guys need some guard depth, if nothing else, right?" Um, the Spurs are in fifth. Timberwolves are in sixth. I mean, that Houston, I think, is the only team. Uh, yeah, I mean, obviously 15-6. But Kevin Durant's there. Is that going to be? Is there any like friction there? I don't know. I don't know if they're good or what. I don't know what their history or anything. So that's the only question is do they that's the other part is too like I don't know. I don't know how these guys are they friends with I know a lot of these guys are cool with each other off the court or whatever, but like how good of friends are they? Are they just like dudes that say what's up in the hallways or whatever or in the locker rooms, or are they like actual dudes? Like, are they actual friends and in the off season? Um so yeah, I mean, just as an outsider, uh,
It's slim pickings.
it's really slim pickings in terms of championship caliber teams with championship aspirations. I'm looking at the Rockets. I think that's the team that I kind of have like very lightly circled in pencil as a team that Chris Paul has probably already like reached out to and said, "Hey, um, you guys need any help?" I
Yeah.
mean, he did spend last year in San Antonio, right? So So he's already familiar with that system. And I would think if the Spurs want him back, they could get him back, at a pretty cheap cost too now because I believe since it's all guaranteed money in the NBA,
Yeah.
the Clippers are paying his salary, right? So now that it's been a week now at this point almost, he's cleared any waivers or whatever at this point, I would think. So yeah, the Clippers are paying for it. It's Steve Ballmer's check. Let somebody, it's you only have to pay the league minimum for him at this point. You only got to shell out about 3 million, 2.5 million, 3 million, or whatever the hell it is. So if you can
Yeah,
fit
I don't see it.
into the salary cap, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, as for the Warriors, your boy Vinny G slacking a little bit. I normally do a better job setting up our spreadsheet, our show doc here. I fell asleep at the wheel last night, organizing a bunch of other crap, but I'm just going to do this on the fly. So last week, you started off the week with two losses versus the Thunder. You took the loss 124 to 112. That game, there was a bit of a fight. You actually were leading a little bit at the end of there toward the fourth quarter, but then just couldn't quite hold on. Then you go on the road out to Philly. You lose 99 to 98 against the 76ers. That one was a heartbreaker. You had that lead, and then that was that last second shot, and that one sucked. Not cool. Ugh, hated that. But then on Saturday at Cleveland, Pat Spencer stepped up big time. Get the win, 5-point win in Cleveland, and then on the back-to-back, you go over to Chicago and play the Bulls in their barn and stomp them big time, 123 to 91. Just a full team effort minus Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah, so this is starting they closed the week out good. It was a good you close it out. I did watch the Warriors Bulls game yesterday as I was baking a bunch of cookies for a work thing. So that was fun. Pajemski had 21 points. You So that was good to see. He clearing 20. I'd like to see him drop a 30 burger one time. Uh, you know, Pat Spencer had 12 in that game. Other starters, Will Richard had 9 points in 24 minutes, the rookie. So you like to see that. Jimmy Butler was back in this game. Interesting to bring him back for Chicago. So that was noteworthy
He was ready for
to
that
me.
one.
He was ready for that
He was
one.
ready for that one.
7 for 10 from the line too. He was getting to the cup. Free throws. He also had a couple of steals too. So you like to see that. Uh, and Pajemski's 21 points came off of the bench as well. He also had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. So, he's getting Pajemski's getting awful close to a triple double there from the bench. So that was interesting to see there. Tyrion and Jackson Davis, 22 minutes off of the bench. That's a lot of time off the bench. I'd like to see, like he had a couple of blocks. It looks like too. Oh no. He had one block, but he was just jumping around a lot. 3 rebounds and 2 assists though. I'd like to see him, uh, you know, jump out a little bit more. I guess like when I was able to stop and actually watch in between cooking times, he kind of jumped off the screen at me. So uh I'd like to see a little bit more out of him, a little more action out of him. Moody with 11 points off the bench too. I like that. What did you see out of the Warriors this week that you liked?
I mean, I know they got a couple of wins there. I just think this team is inconsistent, and they obviously don't
Yeah,
have a lot of size. And I think this is what we're going to see until January. It's a little bit concerning that you know Kaminga and the Warriors come into the season all happy with this new contract, and from what I understand, he's a healthy scratch last night. So
Yeah.
that to me is just the biggest disappointment so far in the season is that Kaminga has just been so inconsistent. All the young guys have been really inconsistent. Um Pods, I expect more. I expect a lot more. Um, you come out before the season starts and you're saying you want to be better than Steph Curry and blah, blah, blah. And Draymond says, be careful how you say things to the media because they're going to hold that against you. And I'm not saying I'm part of the media. I'm a fan that wants to talk about the Warriors, but you brought unnecessary attention to yourself, and then like Warriors fans, it's like, well, where is it? Right now, like when you have to turn to Pat Spencer and no diss to him, but like, he's in a what, 28, 29 years old. And that's a problem for me that Pat Spencer has to be the spark plug and somebody like Pods or Moody or somebody, else that's a younger guy is not doing much to spark this team.
Yeah.
Um, so it's nice to see a couple wins and get a game over 500, but there's games that they just gave away because there's no contributions or enough contributions from the young guys. And seeing a healthy scratch from JK is that sucks.
Yeah.
Um, so I think ultimately you're going to see this up and down, inconsistent play until they make a trade. And it kind of sucks because what are you going to get for Kaminga? What would a team give up to get Kaminga? Because, like, to get something of value, you have to have something of value to give. And you're trading away Kaminga to get what? Like, what are you getting with that? With him, and like, I'm not trying to be mean or cruel. I want him to be good. The beginning of the season, I was like, man, I really hope that he develops into that superstar because I'd rather keep a guy that we drafted. I'd rather keep a guy. I like the kid. I like when he has his game going, it's really fun to see. But again, every few weeks when we talk about the Warriors, Vince, I always bring this up. Like the beginning of the season of this season was the most consistent I've ever seen Jonathan Kaminga put 3, 4, 5 games together. And then he got hurt, and then he was out, and now it's back to inconsistent. No effort on rebounding, no effort on defense. Like, what happened to that first week? Basketball
Yeah.
player,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what's frustrating is you just don't see the effort, the drive, and it just seems like he's one of these guys, if he's not 100% mentally, 100% emotionally, 100% physically, it's not there. Everything has to be perfect for him to do his thing. And I think there still is the chance at a really good basketball player. I just don't think it's going to be on the Warriors. I just don't think it's going to be here, man. I think it's a veteran team, veteran coaching, and each day, each game that is in the books, the window is getting a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, because you have Curry, you have Butler, you have Draymond. This is an extremely veteran team. Al
Yeah.
Horford,
Mhm.
and I get it because of the Curry contract and Draymond and Jimmy Butler. You you don't have the room to do things. You don't, and you really don't have any assets to give up. If you start giving up your draft picks, Curry's going to retire, what, end of next year? When does his contract expire? The end of next year, right? With Steve
I
Kerr.
think so. Yeah.
So, you trade away all your assets to go after it this year and next year. I mean, you got nothing no draft picks for years, and that's dangerous, where you would go back to being the old Warriors that we grew up with, Vince, in the '90s and the
Yeah,
2000s, and that was painful. That was
yeah.
pain. That's why,
These
like,
kids have,
as a
they don't
fan
know, man.
as a
Yeah.
fan, like, I've endured still enduring dealing with the Raiders. The A's, we don't even follow anymore. So, like, as a fan, it's like I'm calloused. Been here, done that.
Mhm.
I can tell you, I don't. The Warriors, when the Curry years are over, they're definitely going to regress. They're definitely going to, have to rebuild it. But I would like them to rebuild it with draft capital, with the ability to bring, develop young guys and all of that. But they're in a tricky situation, and the way the NBA rules are, it's really hard for them to make any moves. And they're giving Pods the opportunity. They're giving Moody the opportunity. I really like Will Richard. He's shown a lot of promise, but he's a rookie. So there's only so much you're going to get out of him. And I think he's promising he could be a really good player for you. Um, but it's this season, right now, and next season. And I think this is just kind of who they are until they can make a trade and get some pieces that fit better. Because injuries are going to happen. We're going to see games where Curry's not here, where Draymond's not here, where Jimmy Butler's not here, and we're
Right.
seeing those games, and the young guys are they're not stepping up, not to win consistently,
Right.
not to be
It
a
sound
a, a contender.
Yeah, it sounds like Curry may be able to be back for this coming Friday game against the Timberwolves. That is the next game, actually. They got a few days off. They're at home against the Timberwolves, and then Sunday they play the Trailblazers up in Portland. And then the next game after that is the following Thursday at Phoenix. And then then it's back home on Saturday the 20th against Phoenix as well. So like over the next 2 weeks, uh basically you got 4 games over the next 2 weeks. So they really packed it into the schedule the last few weeks, like a lot of games, a lot of back-to-backs. We've got a long stretch here where they're going to be able to get a lot of practice time, a lot of rest time. They can maybe guys can get right. We can maybe get on the same page for for some of you. Maybe Jonathan Kuminga, you know, maybe you can show a little bit more effort in practice, get in the good graces of your coach, maybe get some more playing time, earn some more playing time, show a little hustle. I don't know, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Get it together, guys. You're currently sitting in the 8th spot. You're this is the time you can rest up. It's a little bit before Christmas. Yeah, this is the moment. You're got you do have the Christmas game against the Mavericks as well. That's like 6 games away too. So like
Right.
there's not a lot of games before that. So they're really letting the Warriors, the old war, like this old veteran team in these couple of weeks leading up to Christmas to rest up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
That's a nice
These
Christmas
veterans are going to
present.
need it.
Yeah, so there we go. Thank you, schedule makers, for fucking us, but cuddling us now and telling us it's going to be okay with the schedule. So there we go. That being said, let's move on to hockey. We're both wearing our Sharks hats. The week started off a little rough, but it did close with the W. So they lose 7-1 versus Washington. That
Ouch.
was that was me and Tyler's pick for win of the week. We whiffed on that one. And then you had Dallas for your win of the week on Friday. That did not happen. They lose 4-1. Ouch. And then but they go over to Carolina None of us had that one, but they get the job done there. That was a 2 p.m. start time. That I was scared off of that one because of the weird start time. Maybe I should have gone with my gut and did it anyway. Because there you go, man. That was they looked good, man. That was a lot of fun that game. In that game specifically, that was William Eklund's 200th career game. That was also Macklin Celebrini's 100th career game. In that game, Macklin Celebrini got up to 105 points, career points. So most points by a teenager at the time of their 100th game in NHL history. He is number 7 on that list. Yeah. So ahead of him are Wayne Gretzky, Sid Crosby, Dale Haverchuk, Ron Francis, Steve Yzerman, and Jimmy Carson. So, legends of the game, and then Macklin Celebrini. So that's the company we're keeping here. Just for the record, guys that come into the league as teenagers, that's where you're at. Furthermore, guys that just guys that are still active in the league right now, whether they were teenagers or not, when they broke into the league through 100 games played. He's number 6 in terms of active players in terms of points scored. So Sid Crosby, active player, Alex Ovechkin, Evgeny Malkin, Kirill Kaprizov, Connor McDavid. Those are the guys that had higher point totals that are active in the league ahead of Macklin Celebrini. So that's most points through their first 100 games played among active players. Macklin Celebrini is 6th on the list right now of all players currently playing in the league. So with at least 100 games played in their first 100 games as a player. So that's great. He's lighting it up. And I was just, when I saw all of those stats, I was really excited to share those, man. That was, all that stuff really just jumps at me. It's really, I'm really excited, man. This is, like we said it, like the time to jump on the bandwagon was last year. The second best time to jump on the bandwagon is right now. So we're still welcoming people in. Still time. They're I didn't update the standings yet, but they're currently 5th in the Pacific right now. Because those 2 losses, they did drop a little bit, but they are 9th in the conference. So they are just outside of the playoffs as it stands right now. There's 30 games played for the Sharks right now. So you are a little over a third of the way through the season. You're not quite halfway through the season yet, but so we've got a large enough sample size. You're just above the Blackhawks, which is another team that has made the same leap that the Sharks have. They started their rebuild a year ahead of the Sharks. Because they got that number 1 overall pick, Connor Bedard, the year before we did, Macklin Celebrini. So that's kind of the trajectory that we're looking at here. Everybody thought that the Blackhawks should be about a year ahead of where the Sharks, but right now the Sharks and the Blackhawks are kind of on the same trajectory right now. So I view us as a year ahead of schedule right now.
I agree.
That's where I am. Right now, as I look at the standings, Seattle is like 4th from the bottom of the West. That's kind of where I think the Sharks should be, if I'm being in all honesty. Like the Sharks are probably are playing ahead of where I thought they should be, and where the defense, how bad the defense is in general. That's kind of where the Sharks should be. But because the goalie, Askarov, has been playing out of his goddamn mind, especially in the month of November. I talked about it last week. You can look back at that video, last week's video for the details on that. But Askarov played out of his mind, and Ned to steal the win in Carolina yesterday.
Huge
win against Carolina, leading their division right now. Actually, that loss let the Capitals actually overtake them. Let me rephrase that, because they over the past week, because the Capitals and the Hurricanes are actually in the same division, the Sharks are directly responsible for the Capitals overtaking the Hurricanes by losing so terribly to the Capitals and then beating the Hurricanes, we helped them switch positions. That's a 4-point swing. The Capitals have overtaken the Hurricanes, at least in the for the time being. So you're welcome, Washington D.C. fans, and apologies to fans in Carolina. So lo siento. Yeah, that's so that's the Sharks are directly affecting the standings in negative ways for teams up at the top, so that's good. We're playing spoilers a little bit, and that's kind of exciting right there. So that's fun. Looking at the upcoming schedule for the Sharks this coming week, on Tuesday, they are at the Flyers. On Thursday, they're at the Maple Leafs. And on Saturday, they are at the Penguins. So we still continue this swing in the East Coast. And then after that, that's the end of the road trip. So you have the Flyers in Philly, you have the Maple Leafs in Toronto, and then you have the Penguins in Pittsburgh. Uh, so
I gotta go with record and say the Maple Leafs. So
You're
the,
you're you're leaning
I'll
Maple
say the
Leafs.
Sharks will beat the Maple Leafs.
Okay, that's fair. I was kind of thinking the Maple Leafs as well, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, I kind of want to do it. It's tempting. It's real tempting. I'm thinking real hard about picking the Penguins. I'm thinking real hard about it. Especially with Sid Crosby there,
That's
because
gonna be a lot of
Sid
fun.
Crosby has been, yeah, he's been very complimentary of Macklin. Anytime the press has been asking him a lot about it because Sid Crosby's going to be on the Olympic
Of
team,
course.
and and they've been asking him a lot about the young kids, specifically Macklin Celebrini, because Macklin was on Sid's line in the World Championships over the spring and summer break, and he was very complimentary of the kid. And he just, obviously hockey players watch a lot of hockey, not just their own team but other teams as well. And Sid has been very complimentary of Macklin, and I think I think both Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini make the Team Canada roster. That's my pick right there. So, and Sid Crosby is probably going to be one of the final voices to help push that over. So that's my prediction right there, is both Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini make the Team Canada Olympic roster. So there you go. And as a thank you to Sid Crosby, I'm going to have the Sharks beat the Penguins. That's my prediction.
The
And we'll
passing of
get
the torch.
a passing of the torch moment, maybe. A passing of the Olympic torch.
But
Uh,
Sidney Crosby, he didn't announce his retirement, right?
No,
Like
no,
he's
no. He's
still
not
he
announcing his retirement or nothing.
yeah.
No, no, no. It's just a metaphorical thing. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm just being silly and making jokes. That's all.
And
Yeah,
Ovechkin,
yeah.
he hasn't announced a retirement,
He
right?
he has not officially announced his retirement.
Right. So
Like this could be like a farewell tour. We may have seen the last of Ovechkin in San Jose, like as a visitor,
he's still
but we may not
performing though.
have.
I mean, he's
We
still scoring.
He's still scoring like crazy. He's still having fun. He's still being a menace. It's you know what, he as long as he's still having fun and he's still capable of playing the job, and he's still, he's still putting up numbers, the Capitals will welcome him back. At this point, Ovechkin gets to retire when Ovechkin says he's done.
And
Um,
he said he's gonna go home and play one more year, at least
he
one more year in Russia.
Yeah, he wants to play 1 year in Russia, for sure. So maybe he's done in America after this year, and he goes play in Russia. Maybe he still feels like, if he's still capable of producing here, and he wants to keep playing here, the Capitals will absolutely keep him. I'm certain of that. He still puts butts in seats, man. He's
Absolutely.
he's
And then
setting
if he
records.
comes back, next year and does, like, a legit farewell tour, everywhere they go, it's like a sold out farewell to Ovechkin.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes from here. Yeah, it's exciting time. So you have Toronto, I'll take Pittsburgh, and we'll get Tyler's pick and we'll keep track of it in the show doc. So um special treat because World Cup soccer is coming to America and specifically to the Bay Area. We're gonna talk World Cup soccer. We've kind of tried to pare down the show just to our three main sports of football, basketball, and hockey in recent weeks. But because it's a big deal, because it's international stuff and big news has happened, we're going to talk real quick about this. The World Cup draw happened this past week. The U.S. men's national team is going to be in Group D. That was already locked in. So they're currently 14th ranked in the FIFA World Rankings. Okay. We found out who's going to be in their group. This is exciting news. They're getting Paraguay, uh, ranked 39th. They're getting Australia, ranked 26th, and they're getting the UEFA Playoff C, winner of that tournament. There's still some playoffs happening to figure out the last six teams. Okay, uh, so in that final playoff tournament, it's Turkey versus Romania and Slovakia versus Kosovo. All right, so Turkey is 25th, Romania is 47th, Slovakia is 45th, Kosovo is 80th. So Turkey is the favorite to come out of that group. All right. So U.S. men's national team just played Australia and Paraguay within the last couple of months and beat them both by a 2-1 margin. Okay. So that's exciting news. You're a little bit familiar with some of these opponents. Some people will say that, these teams may not, especially Paraguay, may not have had their A team. I say I don't give a shit because winning's winning, and you feel good about winning. I don't care. That's great. The last match versus Turkey was back in June of this year. That was a 2-1 defeat, and we were kind of frustrated at the time. The last time, if it happens to be anybody besides Turkey, I do have the last time we played each of those squads as well. Uh, the last time the U.S. men played Romania was when the last time the U.S. hosted the World Cup in 1994. That was a 1-0 loss for the men for the U.S. men's national team. Slovakia, we only played them once, and that was a friendly in 2009. Um, let's see. That was a win for the U.S. in that one, and U.S. men's national team has never played Kosovo. So that would be a brand new face, and honestly, a shocking upset if anybody besides Turkey gets in. It would be a bit of a surprise. If it's Kosovo, that would be a complete shock and upset of the magnitude of proportions would be unheard of. Anyway, so we also know the games that are going to be happening here in the Bay Area at Levi's Stadium. Okay, so these are the teams that are happening, and they're basically happening every 3 days. Starting Saturday, June 13th, you're having Qatar versus Switzerland. 3 days later, Tuesday, the 16th of June, Austria versus Jordan. That to be determined playoff game I talked about, that team, the winner of that will be playing Paraguay on Friday, the 19th of June. Monday, the 22nd, will be Algeria versus Jordan. Thursday, the 25th, will be Paraguay versus Australia. And then a few days later, when the knockout round begins, the round of 32 match, there will be one playoff knockout round happening uh, at Levi's Stadium, and then that'll be the end of the tournament in the Bay Area. The Niners get their stadium back after that. Yeah, the final will be hosted out in New York at the Meadowlands, excuse me, at New York Stadium. They're not allowed to call it like MetLife Stadium or Levi's Stadium. You're supposed to call it because they don't allow sponsors for stadiums at FIFA World Cup games, so they have to it's not going to be Levi's Stadium when you're there. It's going to be like San Francisco Bay Area Stadium is going to be like the official name. So if you run into some Australian person asking, "Hey, where's San Francisco Bay Area Stadium?" You got to tell them where Levi Stadium is. Okay, so just for the
I'm
record.
just gonna
Okay.
send him to the Oakland Coliseum, dude.
Oh man. All
That'd be
right.
the ultimate dick move. I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
not do
that'd
that.
be so mean. Anyway, okay, so I'll also the US men announced their final set of games of matches before the World Cup. They're going to play in Atlanta in March, end of March, March 28th. They're playing Belgium in Atlanta, and then on March 31st they're playing Portugal in Atlanta. And then the last two games before the World Cup starts in Charlotte, they're playing to be determined. So we don't know who that's going to be. It's going to be a team that's in the World Cup, but we don't know who yet. And then on June 6th, they're playing Germany in Chicago for the World Cup send-off game. So that's going to be kind of exciting. Germany is always one of the favorites to win, so that'll be a really good measuring stick to just see how the men are doing versus top quality competition, and just to see how how it looks. And as far as this group that we've got, the men should be able to get out of this tournament, out of this group. This is a group. The top two get out, and then there's 12 groups. 8 of the top 12 third place teams get out as well. So there's no excuse for not getting out of your group. Once you get out of the group, depending on where you're seated, that's when the real test begins. We'll see, what seed they end up with, and what the path looks like from there. But if they don't get out of the group, that is a disaster. Okay, that is a failure. Once we get out of the group, that's when we can start really judging. Some of these players are already talking about aiming for the semifinals. They're talking about Final Four. And I like that mentality. I like aiming really high. There's no reason not to aim that high. You're hosting this damn tournament. Let's make some noise. Absolutely. Why not make some noise? Why aim higher than you have any right to? Um, the last time the US men ever finished in the semifinals was I think the first tournament when there was only 13 teams in 1930. And there was nobody of consequence showed up for that one or whatever. Like that it was yeah, it was only 13 nations showed up for that thing, and there was all kinds of controversy and chaos, and that's a whole story for another podcast. So yeah, just anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but the point is it's time to start focusing in. If you're into that kind of thing, start locking into to soccer and just start paying attention to that. So I'm gonna keep my eye out on it, and hopefully you guys all do too. So with that, I'm done talking.
Sweet. Finally, it's my turn to talk about.
Ha!
No, it's cool that the Bay Area gets opportunity to see uh World Cup action. I wish we had the men's team though. I wish we had the
Yeah,
US.
they're gonna be based in the West Coast though.
Yeah.
For the qualifiers, so they're gonna be in Los Angeles for 2 games and Seattle for the third game of the group stage. So depending on where they qualify, we may end up with them in that round of 32. There's a non-zero chance that happens. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
So
All right, man. I think that's it for the show tonight. If you're out there watching us on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you can keep watching our videos. As you know, we're starting to put our content into playlists. So if you like talking about the Raiders, you can click on the playlist, and there I am talking about the Raiders. Of course, there's Eagle stuff, there's Shark stuff, there's 49er stuff. So if you're interested in just joining the channel, interacting with the show, please subscribe. Follow us on all social media platforms. We really appreciate you guys. Take care. Have a good night. Until next Monday.
FJF.